Welcome to the Nerd Sloth Podcast, where two lazy nerds talk about whatever we got the energy for. My name's Chris.
I'm Joseph.
Okay, I'm gonna hit you with something real quick. A Ninja Turtles themed pizzeria. What's your initial reaction? Because to me, that sounds like a gold mine. Do you think that's like? Do you think someone's already done that? I feel like they couldn't though.
I'm really trying to picture something in my head that makes me not hate this idea, and I can't.
Wait,
I can't.
Why would you hate it? Why would you hate it?
It's just not a good idea. I don't like. There's
How would
nothing,
it not be a good idea?
Anytime I see anything that is like reminiscent of Chuck E. Cheese or whatever, I'm just disgusted because I know how nasty those places are.
I don't mean like animatronic Ninja Turtles. I'm talking a pizza place. You go in there, maybe it looks like a sewer, which now in retrospect
already
seems like a bad idea. But you know what? Hipsters love places that look like garbage, you know? Sometimes those are the best. They have the best food.
Only way this would be acceptable is if it was a pop-up and if it was temporary. This does not have the legs to last. So it's something that has to be like maybe for a month or two. It pops up. It's a bar / pizza place. It's Ninja Turtle themed. They can have like the whole sewer aesthetic going on, whatever. But that's it. Like I cannot see something like this being a permanent fixture anywhere because as cool as it sounds for like, let's go check out this one place that just came up. After a couple months, I would have forgotten about it, or I'll just be like, oh, that place is still there. So there's nothing. No part of me thinks that a place like that would actually last. If it were permanent.
Maybe it starts as a pop-up and we just see how it does. And then maybe it takes everyone by surprise.
Nope. It's
amazing.
It's a pop-up. That's it. Nope. I'm cutting it off there.
The amount of cool themed pizzas that you could do and cool themed drinks, you know, there's going to be a real green glowy ooze drink that you can order. Like, I love the sound of that. And you could do some of the pizzas that like the Turtles ordered in the cartoon, which sounds, terrible. But, you know, people would do it just for funsies.
Well, yeah, like, you know? It'd be interesting. Yeah, for funsies. That's what I'm saying. Like, it'd be interesting to order, like, the Shredder, like, at one point in time.
Ooh.
Like, it would be hot for a month or two. And then it would just slowly, interest would die down, and then it would just, like, die off. So, if people are putting, like, all their money into this, like, it's just not a way. It's not a smart like business decision.
What kind of pizza would the Shredder be? Would it be?
It would have to be a lot of like
shreds your stomach lining. Like it's just lots of.
I'm thinking it's got to be a lot of like
sliced
up meat or something. But it's like maybe sliced chicken, but also like a lot of peppers in there too.
You just like chicken on every pizza.
Chicken's fantastic on pizza.
No, that's a stupid idea.
Fajita.
No chicken.
Yeah,
this is going to be a chicken-free pizzeria.
Then I'm not
coming.
There
are no chicken.
No, otherwise it's super boring.
They'll have one chicken pizza. It'll be named after that duck. What was that duck's name from Ninja Turtles?
Ace Duck.
Ace Duck. Yeah.
But why?
Or maybe it'll be Mock Duck. It'll be a Mock Ace Duck pizza.
Was there any chicken? And I don't know if there was a chicken in the. But regardless, I don't want to. No, like pizza. That's like saying that there's actual turtle pizza. Like we're literally dining on turtle soup. We can't have that.
People do that.
But I don't want to do that.
Turtle burgers.
We can have something that's called turtle soup, but it can't actually be turtles.
Well, yeah, I don't want to actually eat a turtle. My dad ate one once. He said he had a turtle burger and he said it was good. And then I didn't speak to him for a week.
That feels like a mistake.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
tell me.
Okay. Here's where I'm willing to. I'm not willing to like go as far as you are. It's not a permanent thing still. But if we're talking about themed things, you got to have the Krang in there, and that's a pizza.
Oh yeah.
But it's like a pizza with scrambled eggs on top. But the scrambled eggs have like a light pinkish food coloring in them, so it looks like brain.
No one's gonna want that. No one will want it. I was thinking like it's lots of extra cheese, so it's real drippy.
No, you're not using your imagination. You're being too basic.
Maybe
Put
Spam.
scrambled eggs.
Like maybe Spam for the pink.
No, it wouldn't have the same consistency as scrambled eggs. Scrambled eggs
Spam
are
and
very
sauerkraut.
crane-like.
I say
Sauerkraut
Spam
sounds no, that's gross.
Spam, sauerkraut, and lots of extra cheese. I want to know who else would be into that, and I'm gonna make that pizza for myself now at some point and call it the Crane.
Someone's gonna hear this and they're gonna be like, "Man, that scrambled egg with a little bit of food coloring in it sounds genius. Let's do it that way because that's the right way." So
it just scrambled. What else is going to be on it? You can't just say
it doesn't matter what else you put on it.
Scrambled eggs is the pizza.
You just have to base it around this like scrambled eggs.
All right.
Eggs on pizza are delicious. Have you ever had an egg on a pizza? It's fantastic.
Only sunny side up eggs.
Yeah.
I've never had scrambled eggs on a pizza.
It's fine. An egg is an egg is an egg. It's
fine. It was like sunny side up, and it was like leeks and green onions and lots of fresh cracked pepper.
It's scrambled eggs with some hot sauce on it too, like sprinkled throughout it, so that the hot sauce almost like emulates like the veins on this crane brain as it seeps into the edges of the crevices of the egg.
What you're trying to do is just sabotage my brilliant idea at this point.
I'm trying to
destroy it.
I'm trying to save your bad idea. So you're welcome.
No, this is terrible. Fine. You obviously you don't like this idea. Give me what other franchise would make a better restaurant. You tell me that. What would be better than a pizzeria themed after the Ninja Turtle?
I'm not saying that wouldn't be a good idea. I'm just saying it wouldn't be a good permanent idea. It needs to be a pop-up. I'm pro pop-up when it comes to these themed restaurants because they just don't have lasting power.
But your pizza idea is so gross.
No, I would eat that pizza and I'd be entertained by the visuals of it.
Okay, I'm going to challenge you. I want you to make and eat that pizza.
I don't cook well.
It's a pizza. You put a cheese pizza in the oven, then put some scrambled eggs over it.
Okay.
And mix some food coloring in with your scrambled eggs. Throw it on there. Put some veiny hot sauce over it, and then chow down.
Yeah, I think it'll be better than sauerkraut. Sauerkraut's gross.
Sauerkraut's delicious. What are you doing?
Everything that I just described is better than sauerkraut.
I'll do a sauerkraut and Spam pizza, and you do your scrambled egg and hot sauce pizza with pink food coloring.
Yeah,
and
it's gonna
we'll
be good.
See. We'll see.
And it's gonna play better into the theme. You're being boring by going
meat
with yours.
I literally am putting pink meat in it.
But it doesn't have the same consistency.
It'll look like I chopped up a crane and I'm gonna eat it.
What other pizzas would we have there then? We did the shredder, kind of. We need the crane.
There's got to be some sort of bebop, some sort of rock steady. I don't know what they would be. Well obviously the bebop's got to be
bebop would be pork, obviously.
Like some sort of maybe spicy pork, like maybe multiple kinds of sausage or something. A rock steady, I'm thinking that's more of like steak or something, you know, like it's chopped steak on there.
Maybe the Rocksteady just has to be like, I don't know, like maybe. Okay, so the Rocksteady pizza has breadsticks shaped like horns sticking out of it.
Ooh, okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah.
If we were gonna theme one pizza after each Ninja Turtle, and each one of those has like one specific ingredient or characteristic that would reflect those turtles, like who would get what? Because I feel like
Leonardo
Ref's has to be the spiciest one.
Yeah, Ref's will be a spicy one. Leonardo's would be a pepperoni pizza. Like his just a basic pizza. It's still good, but it's a basic pizza. Yeah.
Oh, sad. What about Donatello? How do you represent Donatello in a pizza form?
It would have to be something like
really
for
smart.
A pizza like connoisseur, like someone like it's got to be the smartest pizza, whatever.
Yeah, it's got to have like it's got to have ingredients that look like they should not work. But then like when you taste it, you're like, oh my God. Like how?
Yeah.
You know?
Right. It's got to, yeah, exactly. It's got to be an experiment, but one that works.
And then the Michelangelo is maybe just everything.
Michelangelo's has to have anchovies on it. There are people who love
pineapple.
anchovies. Shadai likes anchovies. Yeah.
I can do them in moderation. I think like
it's got to be a lot of moderation because they are so salty.
Yeah, I've had anchovies on pizza and I don't mind them. The problem is like whenever I order them, they like are like, here's 30 anchovies on your one slice.
Because they're trying to get rid of their anchovies because no one else wants them.
Like each slice has like a whole school of fish on it, and I'm like, God, I'll die if I eat that. I will shrivel up into a little mummy. To be preserved in the Smithsonian. And they'll be like, how did this mummy get preserved? And they'll be like, well, he ate some sardines and this is the result. So don't do that. So I don't want to do that.
Yeah. So, okay. I think that really covers it. Like, I feel like that gives us most of what we need. I'm
satisfied now. Yeah. I feel better about it, you know?
Yeah.
A little bit better about it. So there we go.
Yeah. So this is our pop-up. And otherwise, there will be themed drinks or whatever.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's definitely themed drinks. I mean, everything's going to be green. All the drinks are green.
Well, yeah, you got to go
Let's
green.
just do that.
Well,
every single drink is green.
Okay, well, hold on. Yes, green, but the glasses specifically have to have like the banding around them, like purple, blue, orange, and red bands around them.
I like that.
To play
That's
into the theme.
good.
Because it'll have a nice contrast of the green against the red band. And yeah.
Fair. I like that. I like that a lot. How's things been? What have you been doing?
Since last we recorded, just really absorbing a ton of board game stuff. I watch board game videos.
Yeah,
I watch board game videos daily for different ideas, different recommendations. I've really been super into co-op board games, which as what I was saying last time. So less about the competition, more about just like teamwork. Like that's just been super fun of just getting together with friends and trying to accomplish a specific objective. Yeah,
we were discussing the ins and outs of you creating Board Dash last week.
Yes.
Which TM trademark. No one steal that, please. So like have there been like new ones that you've got your eye on that you haven't purchased yet that you're kind of like waiting on?
The only one that I'm really like, I guess the only one I'm really waiting on is there's this expansion for the Marvel Champions card game that is X-Force based, and it comes with Domino and Cable as their primary heroes with like, various villains from X-Force in there.
Cool.
And I just think, that's just such a cool idea. And I love Domino as a character. So I think that'll be a lot of fun once those actually come in. Aside from board game stuff, I have been playing video games here and there, whatever I've had time to, which has mostly been Wild Frost, which is a new like roguelike card deck building kind of game.
I saw that, but I don't know much about it other than it is a card type game. So fill me in on that one.
I mean, that one's just like you are, I don't even know like what kind of actual characters these are, but it's just different tribes that you're like going through this journey through the Arctics or whatever. You're one of 3 different tribes. But it's like almost fantastical in a way too. I don't know that it's got like a lot of fantasy elements to it, but there seems to be like dwarves and stuff in it as well. You're fighting just like different kinds of things like, I don't know, yetis and beasts and sometimes penguins with swords and stuff. It's really weird. Like I cannot like really describe it outside of it's a really well animated card game with great art. And if you like tactical roguelite kind of runs, and it's really fun, but it is challenging. Like I have lost so many times because it is really hard to get your deck built up in such a way that you're going to be able to, I guess, get through it, at least at the point that I am now. I think it's a rogue light in the sense that like you are making steady progress as you're going and unlocking new things, but it's really challenging, but it's like the kind of challenging that's very like addictive because I'll get into it, I'll lose like in maybe the second or third realm, and then I'll just want to start right back over because I'm like, okay, I got an idea for this next one or whatever. So it's really been fun. I would recommend giving it a shot if you like roguelike games and card games, and this is a really good one.
Is there like any other like similar games that you've played before that you would compare this to?
I guess kind of like Slay the Spire would be the easiest
yeah,
example.
I played that. Yeah.
Yeah. Except instead of like climbing a tower or whatever, you're just kind of going through, I don't know, these
different enemies or
place. Yeah, you're fighting enemies along the way, and there's various things you can do or different kind of building up that you can do to your character. Like, am I going to be poison based? Is my character going to be like defense based? Am I going to just need to be like a retaliation type character who I need to get hit first to strike back? It's like there's a lot you take into account. You're essentially controlling one character, but then you're picking up allies as you go through that you can put out on the field. So it's not a straight card game in that it's like you play a card, they play a card, like that's it. It's like you're putting these cards out on this plane, and location of the card matters because that's almost like where they would be in a tactical RPG, I guess, where it's like, okay, this character is behind this character, so she can't be hit, so I don't have to worry about her getting hit right now. Let me move this character in front of this other one to protect them. Things like that. So there's a good tactical sense to it, and it's not just like a straight like card playing game. So that's what I've really been enjoying it. I don't know, like I think the feelings about it are kind of mixed initially, maybe because it's so challenging. I haven't really read up on why it's mixed, but yeah, actually it went up to mostly positive. So
okay.
Yeah, try it out sometime.
When you explain that part of it, about how there's like some tactics parts of it, that reminded me of it's called Night of the Full Moon. It's a free game. It's got some stuff that you can pay for, like other classes and stuff. And it, on the surface level, it's going to sound kind of weird, but it is like a card based, it's a deck builder, roguelite, also semi-themed about Red Riding Hood, which sounds like I know that might not sound appealing to a lot of people, but the artwork is really good. The game mechanics are fantastic, especially because you can pick different classes that, you know, have different abilities and things like that. And then on top of that, you can collect or buy your different cards to build your deck as you fight like all of these really different enemies that are really cool. There's hundreds of different enemies with totally different art. There's a lot of voice acting for each of those enemies too. And depending on choices that you make, the last boss that you fight will depend on like what choices you made through your run, which is kind of cool. And then the reason that I thought of it is that was kind of like the base game that they started with. They've been adding a lot of stuff over the years, and they added like this other mode. And I'm not sure when they added it, at least in the last year, I think, that is called, I want to say it's like either the Magic Mirror or the Dark Mirror, something like that. And that is like kind of like what you were talking about, where they take like some of the same sort of cards and stuff like that, and then they put it in a tactics like thing instead, where you're climbing a tower, sort of like Slay the Spire, but you're doing like this tactical, like grid arranged thing with your cards, where the cards up front, like the 4 up front will get hit before the 4 in the back. So you like, you know, get your tank cards out there. You've got your cards in the back are typically usually like buffing cards and doing things like that. So yeah, it's cool. It's a really fun game. And since it's free too, I gotta throw that out there. It's I mean, why not? You can get it on Steam and mobile. And I've got it on both, and I've played it on both many, many times. The artwork especially is, I think, what initially got me interested in like, hey, I'll check this out. And then I was just like, holy crap, this is actually really fun. So I got real sucked into that one. And I think like 4 years ago, and I have not looked back. Like I still play it. It's probably my most played mobile game for sure. I'd recommend.
I really think you'd be attracted to Wild Frost, even if you just saw the art. Like it's very much like up your alley as far as art styles go.
Yeah, I saw an image of it from the store page, and like the art is fairly similar to like the game I was just talking about, like that sort of style, like really colorful and kind of cute art and stuff. And I love that aesthetic. So
yeah,
I'm definitely interested.
it's got an anime-esque style to it, but like kind of chibi-ish, I guess. I don't know. Like, I honestly don't know how to describe it. One of the characters, just to, I guess, elaborate on the weirdness a little bit, is like a buff radish. I don't really know how else to describe him. He's like a buff radish man with a big club. So it's like,
that's cool.
If that sounds appealing to you, if you want to see a radish with abs, then hey, this game is for you.
Who doesn't want to see a vegetable like a radish with abs?
But also a cute little derpy face. So yeah. If that doesn't sell it for you.
I have never in my life up until this point got to embody a radish that I can beat someone down with, you know? And what's sad too is this radish would be in better shape than myself, which that's going to open a whole new door of just body dysmorphia for me. That
remember, kids, eat your veggies.
This vegetable, yeah. Well, yeah. If I eat him, will I gain his life source? Will I grow abs eating this radish man? I don't know, but it might be worth a shot. I'll try. I'll eat him.
You got to try to find out. Okay. If someone wants a good comparison, it just came to mind. This game is a lot like Monster Train.
Okay.
In the sense that it's a deck builder and it's location matters a lot. So with Slay the Spire, that's not really the case. It's like you're just like left and right. You're facing each other the whole time. With Monster Train, there are different levels of this like multi-level train, and where you are on the train, either in whatever level you're on, there's like a front and the back too. So location on each level matters. And then which level you're on matters as well for how you're going to defend this point on the train that you don't want the enemy to get to. So there's a lot in that game that reminds me of Wild Frost or vice versa. So if you ever played Monster Train, you'll have a good kind of indication of what you're getting yourself into.
Well, I haven't, but that's another one on my, very long list of games I need to get to. Someday I'll get there, but it looks cool. I watched you and David play it a long time ago, and I was just like, man, that looks so cool. I really want to try that out. So this is a question I want to ask you, is that like, I feel like the majority of games that you in particular, sir, play are roguelites or roguelites. Like, what keeps you going to that kind of genre specifically? Do you think there's like something specific? Like, is there a common thread between all of these games?
I think a lot of it, like the best roguelikes anyway, are ones that have a lot of variety in them. Like, essentially, in the best ones, no run is ever going to be the same as the last one. So even though they'll have commonalities to them, obviously the objectives are similar. Like, what you're equipped with, has a lot to do with RNG, just random number generation, just rolls of like, okay, so here's the 3 characters I get to choose from this time, 3 randomized kind of characters. Let me choose this one and see what kind of path I can make. And then it's like, okay, how do I want to path myself out based on the cards that I'm picking up? What kind of cards do I want to be looking for? Even if it's not like something I can like pre-plan to the point where it's like, okay, I need to specifically get this, and this, because you don't know exactly what's going to show up. You can at least have an idea of how you want to create your character. What I like about that is the freedom in the sense that you're kind of getting a different experience each time. And I am a person who really thrives on variety. I get so bored with repetition of things and just doing the same thing over and over. So if I get to change it up, even if it's only a little bit every time, then that's like, that's gold to me right there, is getting to a lot of like, that's a lot of the reason why I like a lot of Souls-like games too, is because I could run through the whole game with like a giant, guts berserk sword, or I can be just a dagger wielder the whole time. Like, I've got options and I could change that on the fly if I wanted to. So it's like, I need options in my game. I cannot just have a game that just walks me through a straight path without giving me the ability to kind of create my own path.
Okay. So what would be your, if you had to assemble like a top, I feel like top 10 would be too much. If you had to assemble a top 5 of your favorite roguelikes or roguelites, what's your top 5?
Okay. Just purely on time played, I think, Monster Train, the one I mentioned earlier, is going to be in there for sure. Slay the Spire, just because it's kind of like not really the grandfather of that, but one that I really enjoyed playing, and one that other people obviously enjoy too, because there's like an officially released fan made mod to it. So where
Really?
it adds more content to Slay the Spire, which is
really
cool. And I haven't played it yet, but I did pick it up. Well, it's free, so I did like download it. I just haven't jumped in yet.
I did download that too, and I totally forgot about it till now. Okay.
Yeah, well, now I got to try it. It's called Downfall. It's a Slay the Spire fan expansion. Yes.
Okay. So that's 2.
Oh, man. Yeah, okay. Death Road to Canada. I think you've played that one with me.
Death Road to Canada is super fun. I hope if you have not played that one, any folks listening, I hope that you give that one a shot. It is super fun.
It is fun and it is hilarious sometimes. So like essentially it's all in the name. Like you're trying to get to Canada. There's a zombie apocalypse going on. You're just trying to survive on this road trip to Canada. And what's great about it is you don't know what you're going to run into along the way. At a certain point, like you create your own characters, or you can create your own character. Like I know, like I've put you and me in there or something. But there's a good possibility that your character might just die off. Like it doesn't matter necessarily on a character to character basis, as long as like somebody's alive, because you're going to pick up allies along the way too. At a certain point, when I was playing with one of my other friends, like we had picked up a dog along the way who because one of us had like pet speak or something where we could speak to animals, and then we died, but our dog lived. So it was just the dog driving the rest of the way to Canada. For as long as he could survive. Yeah. And at a certain point, like I picked up one of the characters who came with me was like essentially a Thor knockoff. He had lightning powers and everything, but I've only seen him once. I played this game so many times. I probably have like over 100 hours in it overall, and I've only seen this character once. And so it's like you never really know what's going to come up in games like that. And that's what's so exciting about it, is the surprise element.
Let me tell you my favorite memory from playing that game was you and I were playing it together. We ran into some folks like in some encampment. They were selling stuff. And my character, like, I was just being a huge jerk to everybody. And some dude was like going on and on about like anime or something. And like you choose from like pre-made responses and stuff. And because I was trying to play my character like being a complete jerk, I chose the meanest one, which is just anime isn't real. And the guy like ran off crying. But then like in the next scene, we find a magical girl who just looks like Sailor Moon. And then she joins our group, and like we were laughing so incredibly hard that happened. But then this magical girl like obliterates everything. Like she has like these eye beams or something, and she's just destroying all the zombies and stuff. But over time, she starts like, her head starts expanding, and she just starts like getting all goopy looking, like she was like overheating and everything. Yeah. So eventually she just kind of went bleh and died. And when that happened, we had gotten so big of heads with like how we were playing, because we're like, we're unstoppable with our magical girl. And when she went down, I got killed so fast. Yeah. And you were trying to carry my body out of this place after our magical girl died, and you just couldn't get me back in the car, and then I got eaten.
Yeah.
So it was such a wild, fun game. So like, it seriously is, it's some of the most fun ever I've had with a roguelike. So like, yeah, I have to recommend that one too. That one's great.
Yeah, so that one definitely belongs on the list. What was that, 3 that I've named so far, or 4?
3.
3, okay. Definitely have to throw Enter the Gungeon in there. Super fun, well animated. It's had a lot of like spin-offs, even like Exit the Gungeon is one of them, which is kind of more of a platformer than it is like a top-down or 3/4 view roguelike. And then, oh man, I only have one more if I'm doing
What's
top
number
5.
one spot?
Oh, Hades. This isn't in any particular order. Because I would change my mind too quickly. So, but Hades has to be in the top 5 too, because Hades is an amazing game and one that has a lot of replayability to it. Because I've beaten, so Hades is one of the easier ones of the bunch because I've beaten it many times. It encourages you to beat it and like try new things and whatever. As the more you beat it, like the more of the story behind it you're unfurling, and that's the appealing part. So it's not as much about the entire adventure as much as it is getting to the end, so you can find out what is actually happening and continuing conversations with your father, Hades himself, and the various other things that happen in that game. Like, that's the really interesting part about it. The gameplay is fantastic. Like, I don't want to downplay that, but the real treat is seeing the story unfold the more times you beat it, which essentially all you're trying to do is get out of hell or get out of Hades by defeating your dad and giving your dog Cerberus a treat so that he lets you through, and then defeating your father so that you can leave hell to go, without giving any spoilers, just to get to the outside out of curiosity, essentially.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, great game.
I gotta say, I am very surprised to not hear Dead Cells in the top 5. Very surprised by that.
Yeah, I love Dead Cells. I really do. But there's none of those that I could think of really replacing. Maybe, like, it would be 6, though. If I had a top 6, it would be in there. But
nobody does the top 6. There are no top 6s.
So I'm sorry to Dead Cells. It's
on the cutting room floor.
Fantastic game. Yeah, it's an honorable mention because
you're dead to me, Dead Cells.
The other ones are just so good that I'd feel bad not putting them in my top 5.
Well, it's too bad.
Purely based on the amount of times that I've played them.
Is there any that are popular that you don't like? Like any ones that are I don't know, kind of in the community that get played a lot or get a lot of, I don't know, like press time, like, on things like IGN, Polygon, stuff like that you tried and you're just like, nah, I don't like this. I don't like this one. It's not good.
I guess there's none that I can really like call out like that, because all of them that I've played I've enjoyed for one reason or another. Some I've just played longer than others because some of them, like, you get through it once and you're like, okay, like, that's cool, but I don't really have incentive to play through it again. Like, I would say those are the worst of the games, but even those aren't bad. It's just like a one and done thing. And so it was fun on the first time through, but you don't really feel like going through it again. Binding of Isaac, another one I should throw out just because I know people will call me out if I don't. Great game. Just not one that I put enough hours into to really like put it in my top 5. But another awesome roguelike game.
I got to do a commercial for Binding of Isaac last year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was fun.
It's in a similar vein to Enter the Gungeon, and just the way that it plays, just a twin stick shooter kind of thing.
Yeah, I was going to ask, was there any that like you played at once and you're just like, I'm done. That's it. I don't need to play it again.
Oh man, I need to throw Risk of Rain 2 in there also.
There's
just too many.
No, you only get 5.
I'm honorably mentioning things.
No, you can't honorable mention every game you've ever played. That's not how this works.
I just need people to know that they exist.
Are there any games from like back in the day that like technically if you thought about now, you'd be like, oh yeah, that was a roguelike or that was a rogue that wouldn't have thought about that's what it was back in there? Because I'm thinking like in my head, I'm like Oregon Trail, like back when we were kids, was basically like a rogue, because like once you're dead and you don't like get new stuff and then try again with like extra like abilities or anything. You start over, and I'm like, I never thought about that.
If you're going to go that far, then you could even say things like, I don't know, Fatal Fury or King of the Monsters were roguelikes, because like once you die, you have to start over.
I mean,
and that's not really like what I guess with the good roguelike, it's like you go through, there's random progression in there, and or random random items that you pick up to kind of strengthen yourself. I think that's essentially what makes it more of a roguelike, and maybe progression. Even if you're dying, like you still start over, but you've got something that gives you a little bit better of a chance next time. But those older games, like there's not really randomness to it. Like if you're going through Streets of Rage, you're just going to go through. Sorry, I didn't mean Fatal Fury earlier. I meant Streets of Rage. That's
Streets
what I meant
of
to
Rage.
say.
Sure.
So Streets of Rage, if you're going through it, like you're just going to go through it. And once you're done, like there's not really a whole lot to bring you back into it because it's going to be kind of the same trip no matter what.
What would you classify as just a rogue versus a roguelike?
Well, Rogue, everything's a roguelike because Rogue was the original game that did this. That's why it's a roguelike.
Okay, that's okay. Do you explain that to me? Because like, shame on me for not knowing anything about that.
I don't know a whole lot
Are you
about
Google
the original.
searching Rogue right now?
I'm trying to because I don't know anything about the original game aside from this is where that name originated.
Let's find out. Let's find out about it real quick.
So Rogue, also known as Rogue Exploring the Dungeon of Doom, is a dungeon crawling video game. I guess just the system of it is what has inspired the rest of these games, the gameplay of the rest of these games, which is why they're roguelikes. Yeah, in the same way that a Souls-like is a game that has, bonfire, dodge rolling, and extreme difficulty, things like that.
Okay, that's interesting. See, I never knew this, so I feel like I've learned something today and become, one, a better person, and two, also a target for all of the neckbeards out there because they're going to be coming for me now.
Yeah.
Like they're outside the door with their, what kind of weapons do they have? Do they have weapons? I don't know.
Keyboard warriors is what they all
They've
are.
got their keyboard weapons ready for me to shame me for not knowing that this game from 1980 is what started the trend.
Yeah,
1980.
I guess that's really interesting because it's like I don't think about that game ever because I don't.
Right.
I've never played that game. I just know of it as a roguelike. I knew that it was the origin of it, but I've never looked into that game itself.
Sure.
Nor played it. So I'm not sure how much similarity it has to the current style of things. Maybe it's like the permadeath or something, or just like the way that it is randomly generated. I think that's a big part of it probably is a random generation of levels and stuff too.
Yeah. I started playing the hardcore version of, I don't remember if I said this last week. I started playing the hardcore mode on Pathway recently so that there's permadeath of the characters.
The amount of times you played through games is astonishing to me. I don't know how many times you've beaten Pathway.
Hey man, neurodivergency is it can be both a boon and a curse sometimes because you get real obsessed with certain things. But like I've played Pathway so many times now. I've definitely got over 100 hours in that one, like easily. Yeah, I'm doing my Let's Plays. I'm recording my Let's Play series of the regular mode, but I'm playing my hardcore mode for my Steam Deck, and that I like it. I'm having a good time with it. I usually don't play permadeath as just a mode on a game that it's an option, but I'm like, I've beat it, so many times that I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try it and I'm going to make it really hard. And it's, it's hard. It's definitely hard.
I like the idea of permadeath in a game like a tactical RPG type game where it's like, I've got my party members. You essentially do have that in things like, I don't know, Final Fantasy Tactics or whatever. But there are specifically games like even Fire Emblem, one of the latest ones, where you can put on permadeath. So it's like if your party member dies in battle, like they're just gone. And I think that really it ups the stakes in it, absolutely. But it also makes it kind of more interesting from a storytelling perspective where it's like, oh, this thing happened and now my character is just gone forever. This character that I may have grown an attachment to for whatever reason. It's the same reason why they do the Nuzlocke thing with Pokemon games.
Yeah, I would love to do that one day or not do that and watch you do that one day.
It seems like a really entertaining thing. All I remember of the rules of it exactly are like you have to catch like the first Pokemon that you encounter in each zone. and you have to name them so that you grow more attached to them. And then if they die, if they faint in battle, you have to consider them dead and either release them entirely or put them in a box in the med center, the Poké
I think
Center.
you're supposed to release them. Release them.
I've seen both ways. So it's like you could do either or depending on how you want to play it. But if you're really going into it, basically the idea is they're gone from your game.
Right.
And you have to kind of start fresh. So that makes it, in a game that's really not all that challenging, usually the Pokemon franchise, like that adds a little bit of an edge to it to make it the stakes a little higher.
Do you feel like Nintendo or like Game Freak is like real bummed out about that? Do you think they'd like, because I know Nintendo gets so touchy over everything. Do you think they see people doing Nuzlocke and they're just like, don't do that. Please don't. We will cease and desist you.
No, I think it's the same as like any creator who makes a game and then people try to add their own like sense of difficulty to it. Like even like Elden Ring, I'll bring that up, has what is essentially something that is not easy mode, but it makes it easier if you summon companions. Like if you have your summons out, it's going to be remarkably easier than if you're just trying to do it alone. I did it alone because I like that added challenge, but it's like that's not necessarily the way that it was intended to be played. Obviously, those summons wouldn't be there for no reason, but you kind of have to add your own challenge to things to keep it entertaining for you. So I don't think developers care as long as you buy their game and are playing it. I think that's ultimately what really matters to them.
Yeah, well, I would say that about most developers. I think Nintendo, I feel like, is usually a special case, which is why like they constantly are like every time they put out a new system, they introduce like a new virtual store and you like buy stuff digitally on there and they're like, nope, we took it away. Now you have to rebuy it again. Like they don't give two craps about like the gamers half the time. So it's like, I don't know. Yeah,
I guess
that's all I gotta say.
I guess a big concern about like the Switch Pro or Switch 2 or whatever it's going to be is that the Nintendo Online Store is going to do the same thing where it's like none of it's backwards compatible. And it's like, oh, wow, I just bought all these things for the Switch that I can't even play on my Switch 2 or whatever it is.
That is totally a move they would do. Absolutely.
That's a huge bummer. Like if I go back and forth on Nintendo stuff. I generally like Nintendo products, but the Switch hardware has just been going downhill for the past couple years, especially like with the latest Pokemon game being a big like example of
just
that.
Just a steaming hot pile. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, I get that it's not all on Nintendo, some of it's Game Freak or whatever, or the Pokemon company, whoever makes the actual games now.
I mean, they own it though. So
yeah.
It's like,
true. But so it's like, I just think, and I've seen like that get modded to, not modded, but it's them playing it on a virtual emulator of the Switch and it running better. So it's like, okay, it's not the software as much as it is the hardware that's holding it back. And that concerns me a little bit about the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom that's coming out soon. Am I going to run into the same issues? Because like Breath of the Wild, I remember it running pretty smoothly, I think, but that was years ago. So it's like, unless they really just use the exact same system for the creating the game on, I don't know.
Like,
yeah, I want it to get progressively better, but I just don't think it can get much better than that on the Switch. That's why they need to bring out new hardware, and it needs to be backwards compatible because otherwise it just really feels like we're throwing money into a hole.
They need hardware that can compete with everybody else that's creating gaming devices. Like if the Steam Deck is more powerful than what Nintendo can put out, which it is.
Oh, yeah.
They've done something horribly wrong,
Yeah, at least take inspiration from the Steam Deck's release and, build your next hardware up on that or with that in mind. Like Nintendo is just always behind a generation or two.
Yeah.
And they're it's like they refuse to progress.
And I feel like it's because they always get really stuck on doing a new gimmick, like they never are just like, hey, let's make a new system. Let's make it better, better graphics, better processor. It'll be faster. It can handle more. It's got more storage. Instead, they're like, we've got this new system where you can use your feet to control this character now. So like when Mario jumps, you have to jump. And it's like, we didn't want that.
I never wanted motion controls. Just like if I
No.
wanted motion when I was doing things, I would move. I would go outside, but I don't want to touch grass. I just want to stay in and play games.
Right. I remember when the Wii first came out, I was just like, oh, that might be kind of cool for like Zelda, like swing the thing around like a sword. That might be kind of cool. But then like when in actual execution where you have to swing it very specifically and it like hardly ever actually worked. And then they're like, oh, sorry, you got to buy this upgrade, this big old sleeve for your controller, or else, yeah, you're going to be like not hitting anything. It's like, damn it, Nintendo.
When I play games, I'm trying to relax. So the last thing I want to do when I'm relaxing is work out while playing my game.
Nintendo wants you to work out, man. They made the Wii Fit for a reason. You could do yoga using your video game.
I feel like, the intent is there, and I appreciate that. But at the same time, don't build your whole hardware around things like that.
Just a straight gimmick. Yeah.
Yeah, it's too gimmicky. The Switch is a handheld. That's great. That's a great idea. It's just falling behind in the hardware sense where it can't even run its own games well anymore. So It's time to move forward. Keep it. You can make a Switch Pro or whatever that's like better handheld device, but don't add anything else to it. I don't want anything else there. Just make it a better Switch.
That's what it's called, Better Switch.
Yeah.
Nintendo Better Switch.
Nintendo BS. Better Switch.
BS. For a second, I was just like, how do we shorten it? And then I was like, B Switch bit. Oh, no, we can't.
Nope. It's
can't
the
do
Nintendo
that.
BS.
Nintendo bitch. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope they don't do a stupid gimmick this time around. I just want them to make, like, here's the Switch again. It works this time.
Here's the Switch, but it can run your Switch games. It's like, oh, nice.
Yeah. And maybe we've built some extra apps into it or something. Like you can do more stuff with it and everything works great. That's it. That's what it does. And I'm like, perfect. That's what I needed it for. Thank you so much.
Because right now it just feels like I'm using a 10-year-old computer to try to run games that are coming out now.
Right.
And but instead of, just upgrading my graphics card or motherboard or whatever, I can't do anything. I just have to wait for Nintendo to do it for me. And that's very frustrating.
It's a big bummer. Real quick, I just want to share that I've been, I told you this a little bit, but for the listeners, I've been playing a lot of Golf Club Wasteland, which is pretty fun. It's a golfing game and it's got a wasteland. It's like the earth has been destroyed. It's on the nose. You're an astronaut who comes down. And what's different about this versus most golf games, like we've played a lot of golf games together and it's always like you're behind the ball, you shoot the ball. It's more 3-dimensional. This is all like 2D basically. And the obstacles get extremely intricate. And the holes are like progressively get really challenging, but like so challenging that like you're going to see like some par 11s and just like ridiculous stuff. But yeah, Earth is like a wasteland and you play this guy in a spacesuit and everything. And you're just playing golf on this destroyed Earth because Earth is literally just a place where like tourists from Mars come and just play some golf. Like that's it. And as you play, like you learn a little bit about what happened. You learn a little bit about maybe there are some survivors still on Earth. And it's got some cool music and stuff too, interspersed with like, they make it feel like a real radio station in the future where like, there's like a radio personality that talks and brings people on and they have some banter, like almost like little talk shows in between the music and stuff. So it feels like almost like a living, breathing kind of radio station that you're listening to as you play, which I really like that aspect of it. But it is extremely challenging. It's got several different modes and stuff like that, so you can make it even more challenging than it already is, just right out the gate. So I definitely recommend it. It doesn't cost much on Steam. I don't remember how much it was, but I've been having a really fun time with it on Steam Deck. It works really good on Steam Deck if you want to do that. So, real easy, just sit back, chill, and play some golf on a derelict Earth. And occasionally you'll see an albino giraffe or some other albino creatures, because whatever happened, like all the creatures are albino on Earth now. The squirrels, everything. They'll steal your balls.
What's it called again?
Golf Club Wasteland.
Huh.
I would highly recommend.
There is a game, just to kind of tie the last two subjects we had together. There's a roguelike golf game called Cursed to Golf that came out fairly recently. Yeah.
Yeah, it came out over the summer. Yeah.
Yeah. And that is, I haven't played it yet, but I do have it in my library. And so it seems really interesting. I have some friends who have played it and they really like it. So if you want to combine golf and roguelikes, there you go.
Yeah, I heard that that's a really challenging one too. Like I heard that one's also really tough.
And is yours like a 3D kind of open plane, or is it 2D also? Because Curse of the Golf is like 2D.
Totally 2D. Yeah. 2D at all times. It never goes 3D. So
there's one other game that I wanted to mention, and I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's like
way to go.
Korean. No, hold on. There's like a Korean version of Bully. If you ever played the game Bully.
I do remember Bully. Yeah.
Yeah. Except this one is more like more focused on, I guess, just beating up. Troublemaker is what it's called.
Oh, okay.
So you
it's
are, yeah. Well, you're just a student who is just like essentially going around campus, just fighting bullies or fighting off just like bad people. And it looks like a fun beat 'em up. It's very positive ratings right now. And I like the art style to it. It looks like pretty simple combat mechanics. It's less about the art of the game itself, more about the, I guess, advertisement kind of art for it and the cutscene art. Because the cutscene and the cover art are like anime, but the actual gameplay is like some kind of rudimentary 3D looking game. So I don't know. It looks fun. I haven't bought it yet. I don't know if I'm going to, but that was just something that reminded me of when you were saying it was the derelict Earth thing that you were talking about or whatever with the golf. Like it reminded me of this game.
I also want to mention to you specifically. I know I mentioned this once before, but like I started using the Opera GX browser, which I really like because you can get all these. Not only do you have like tabs and stuff like that, like any of the other ones, but you have like specific like side tab, like workstation kind of tabs also that can save like a specific group of tabs for you. So you can click on those and it'll open up like I've got like specific workspace tabs for like working. I have certain ones for streaming, stuff like that. And you can just click on that and it'll just pull all those tabs up for you, which is really cool. But one of the really big things is that I really like about this browser that I think will appeal to a lot of folks listening is you can log in. It gives you tons of updates on like gaming news and stuff. There's a lot of games that you can purchase through there and some games that you can just play straight there in the browser. And a lot of them are good ones like one we've played before was Sword of the Necromancer. We bought it on Steam, but like there was one day that they just had it for free right there in the browser. And I was like, that's awesome. They also have daily deals and stuff. So like at one part on like the main page, the main hub, like they had deals and like what like website that these deals are coming from, like from Steam or Humble Bundle and like things like that. Like I was finding all kinds of games that I'd be interested in that I didn't know were on sale because I wouldn't have looked for a lot of them, but they were just popping up on my like basically my deals feed for games. So I would definitely recommend that browser. It's super cool. You can also install like themes into it and stuff so you can really control everything about how the browser looks. You can install stuff to where the browser itself just plays lo-fi music for you if you start browsing. Like it just triggers to start playing music, which is great. Like it's really, really neat. So I just want to throw that out there because that has been my companion for a while.
Interesting. That's very strange way to end an episode because this was not sponsored by
Opera GX specifically.
It absolutely was not.
But not the browser, like an actual opera called GX, where they sing.
The GX opera.
It's like one of the singing ones. So yeah, I just want to let y'all know that. But I don't know about you. I'm out of energy. So
yeah, I'm hungry. I need to go eat.
Yeah, me too. So it's all over, folks. So until next time, my name's Chris.
I'm Joseph.
And we'll catch you. We'll catch you on the next tree branch. I don't know. Well, how do we end? We need to officially come up with an ending like catchphrase.
I feel like we
like
feel
an
like we
inspirational
don't, though.
one. We need an inspirational ending phrase.
We need the opposite because that's not what the show's about. It's not
okay.
about.
We need an uninspiring end phrase. So we need a phrase that'll uninspire everybody at the end.
No, I really think like we could have just cut it off after saying like, I'm tired, me too, I'm going to go eat. And that's it. Like we just cut it off. Like maybe that's funnier.
Every episode now we'll just be like, hey, we're done. And then it just plays music.
Yeah, I think honestly that might be the better move.
All right, well, there we go. You all heard it.